Welcome back to the Right Read podcast. I'm Asad. You can find me at AsadNBA, and I'm joined as always by my three friends here. Starting off on my left.
Today's me. My name is Will. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff at Bias Houston.
I'm Isaiah. You can find me on Twitter at user Jeezy Supremacy.
DeAndre, Oralytics CEO still.
Fake Will.
You can find me on Twitter. I got to change my ad. Somebody give me ad recommendations down below. You can find me at Twitter as of right now at Willems, WILLLUMZ.
Yep. And today we are starting a series where we're going to preview every team in the NBA going into next season. We're going to break it up by dividing each conference in half. So the first 8 teams of each conference and the bottom half of those conferences. Today we have the top half of the Eastern Conference. I mean, we're going, and we're doing this based upon where they ranked last season.
Yeah.
So you're standing from last season. So obviously today we're going to start with the Cavaliers and we're going to end with the Miami Heat today. So yeah, let's jump right into it, man. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Before we get into each team, we wanted to make sure we broke down quickly what happened to them this offseason, just so you guys at home know if you were not informed as to what happened. So for the Cavs, last season they were 64-18. The regular season, they were the 1 seed in the East. They traded Isaac Okoro for Lonzo Ball, and they signed Ty Jerome this offseason. So they had a,
Somewhat busy.
Yeah, somewhat
The team
decent
that
offseason, yeah.
I expect this team to be right back in this position next year. Does anyone disagree with that?
No, they should be.
Not at
especially
all.
The,
In terms of the regular season record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be
for sure.
pushing mid-60s again, maybe even higher, considering a lot of how the talent pool in the bottom half of the East, we're going to talk about that when we get to that episode, I think has kind of dwindled. And I just overall think the Cavs are built to stack up these regular season wins. Like
They have the formula.
The questions
for
for them are all playoff dependent. Like, I don't think anyone is denying the Cavs are going to be a really, really good team next year in the regular season.
Yeah. I think the main thing for them is going to be one, the emergence of Evan Mobley. I know I had him highest on our 15 under 25
Sure
list.
did.
Where'd you have him?
I had him 4.
Yeah, he had him
Man,
really
I had
high.
him 4. I think that his leap as a self-creator is going to be very, very important for that team. What I'm hoping to see from them is a lot less double big. I think that will cause an uncomfortable conversation regarding Jared Allen, who I think is a fantastic player. Was one of the hard snubs on the top 10 center list that we did. He's a very, very valuable player, but I think it's becoming ever apparent their best lineups moving forward are going to be Evan Mobley as the sole big on the floor and giving him more spacers, giving their guards, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, more spacers in the front court as well. I think that they've kind of allowed themselves to do that. I think you're going to see some 3-guard lineups this year with Lonzo when he's healthy, with Lonzo, D. Mitch, and Garland. He's a bigger guard for them. I think he's their biggest guard on the roster by far.
I
at
mean,
this point.
not saying
Yeah,
that
it's
much.
not saying much. You got 2 6'1" guards in the backcourt, but especially
It's
with that.
Yeah, I'll say Darius Garland's not.
Yeah.
One's kind
They're
of
listed, listed 6'1".
He's 6'1", I'm 5'10".
Hey man, we'll take it. But I do think that because of how limited size-wise that backcourt is, they need bigger wings and they need more floor spacing wings, and it's why they've leaned in the past into double bigs.
You have to make up the size somewhere.
Yeah, you have to somewhere, and I think that as Evan Mobley transitions into being a true 5, a guy that can command and anchor a defense by himself, which I think he's more than capable of doing now at this point, going into more traditional 2-guard, 2 wings, maybe even, like I said, with Lonzo, the 3-guard wing and Evan Mobley lineups, I think that'll be really, really key to their success next season.
Yeah.
I wanted to speak to their additions, right? I thought, Ty Jerome should have fired his agent because there's no way that coming off the season he just had, that's what he got. I thought that he would be one of the
You
more...
want to talk about like an analytics darling?
Yeah.
Like
I thought
insane pull-up 3-point shooting. His advanced numbers were like way off the
synergy
charts.
page, period.
Yeah, like
I thought that for sure coming off the season he was going to get more, and he got 3 years, $28 million. This is a guy we as Rockets fans were like, we would have no problem bringing him in next season. And so for him to get paid what he got paid coming off the season, that was a little interesting to me. But I thought it was a great signing for the Cavaliers. They brought in someone who was probably the best backup guard on the market, and they got him for, in my opinion, a lot less than what I thought he should have got. And then you bring in Lonzo Ball, who is I can't, man. I'm watching in Texas, man. They just threw a dot to Nico. But look, they brought in Lonzo.
Half the parlay already hit.
They brought in Lonzo, and I'm a big Ball family fan. I love Lonzo. I love LaMelo. The biggest issue with Lonzo in the past is simply that he can't stay healthy. And yeah, let's be real. There's really no reason to believe that next season he won't be injury prone. But when he does play, Lonzo Ball is one of the best I'm not gonna say starting guards because he's kind of injuries kind of zapped him of that where he was in like 2021 when he was with the Bulls and he was just amazing for them.
Yeah, he's still a really good role player.
But he's still a really good role player. He's a really good shooter, really good defender. He plays with a lot of IQ. Like DeAndre pointed out, I think they will employ him in some 3-guard lines because he is 6'6", 6'7", and he plays.
He's playing the wing for them.
Yeah, he played. He's played. He
playing small forward.
He played the wing in New Orleans. Technically, if you think about it.
He also did in Chicago.
Yeah, so like he's not necessarily foreign to the role he's going to play for the Cavs next season. So I think those are 2 really good additions to a team that was already pretty good last season and is posed to be a bit better this year. Considering the Celtics aren't going to be there, the Bucks are going to be up and down, the Pacers aren't going to be there. It's kind of just them in the Knicks.
You said Ty Jerome. So I do want to amend. Ty Jerome did leave, so he did go to the Grizzlies for 3 for 28. But yeah, with the Lonzo thing, I think this is like the first team that they can literally be like, hey, like how are you feeling today? Like in terms of like playing. Yeah. And if he like not feeling it, they can just sit him. Yeah. And they have.
He's very much a depth piece.
Yeah, they have multiple. At least in a regular season context, I think. Between DeAndre Hunter, obviously, who they picked up last trade deadline, Jalen Tyson, Sam Merrill, Dean Wade, like they have guys who can play that like 3 and, size up and play a bit of 4 when Jared Allen's out. So they're like one of the few teams in the league that Lonzo can be on, and he can kind of play like 45, 50 games and kind of coast until they actually need him. And for them, I like that move a lot because they're clearly at a spot where they got to fill out their wing depth for the playoffs. Everything they do now is dedicated for the playoffs because, like you said, they pretty much built a team, formulaically that's built to win 60 games, right? With the big 4 they have, as long as they're all playing together, like this is a 60-win team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I also think that the difference Lonzo will provide from Ty Jerome, I think, will be very valuable. He's just more of a connective passer.
Yeah.
Ty Jerome was an excellent player, but he was, I don't want to say ball dominant because he is a guy that was playing off the ball a lot with the Cavs. But I just think Lonzo's passing ability, like regardless of the injuries, regardless of everything,
he has more little skills than Ty Jerome does.
Yeah, there's just certain passing valves, passing outlets, angles, just especially at his size that allow him to function in different lineups. And it also just takes some of that playmaking duty off of Donovan Mitchell's shoulders, who I've said on the podcast, I think he struggles with that at times.
Yeah. And to the Ty Jerome point, he definitely they put a lot on his shoulders going into the regular season, and come playoff time, it was
folded.
It was a lot being asked of him, and
that's what lost him all that money. I'm gonna be honest.
Honestly, yeah, it cut down his AAV for sure on his next contract, and then at the end of the day, I think that's a big reason why they decided to move on from him and go for Lonzo. Just because, worst comes to worst, if he's on the court, he's gonna be playing defense, and he'd be a good connective passer. Yeah. Can't really take that away from the guy.
Before we go to the next team, because I know somebody else wants to say anything about the Cavs, I did want to ask y'all a question because I saw this conversation kind of floating around on Twitter, which is, who do you guys think should be the Cavs' best player next season for them to be a championship winner? Not
Evan Mobley. I think it has to be Evan Mobley. I think we've seen what Donovan Mitchell being your best player gets you, and it's to the second round. But I just think it's that simple. Like it's the truth. Like he gets you to the second round. He's had a plethora of context, a plethora of team builds. He's just, his style of play to me just kind of limits how far a team can go at his size. If Donovan Mitchell was 6'5", he might have 2 rings already. But I think Evan Mobley taking a leap, like he needs to be a legitimate like 23-11 guy for them next year, I think, if they want to have real legitimate championship aspirations and not just we're the 1 seed and we're going to be cool in the playoffs. Like if they want to win something, he's got to look like the Evan Mobley that I think he can be.
Yeah. I mean, make it simpler. I think all of us, when we ranked our top 15 players in the NBA, we all had Donovan Mitchell around that like 15 spot. Right? I mean, in general, right? Like we had him around like the 15-ish spot, and I don't think at this point of his career, I think he's pretty established. That's probably what he is.
Yeah, that's definitely.
If you want to win a championship, I do think you need more than one top 15 player. So the answer is like easily Evan Mobley.
Yeah,
because
he's 15 on my list. So
yep, I think he was around that spot for me. So if Evan Mobley's better than him next year, you got 2 of those guys. I mean, you could win.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go on to the Celtics. And they got a lot of things talking about. Boy, oh boy.
Are y'all ready for Luka Garza minutes?
Yeah. Say Celtics last season, 61-21. They brought in Anthony Simons, Chris Boucher. They notably lost Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Luke Cornett. And these were guys they lost in like the money.
Those are guys they lost to trades. They're also going to be missing Jason Tatum for the entirety.
They were trying to save a lot of money. got the second year. But I think a lot of that was, I mean, they had to get out the second
They
year
had to
from-
do it, yeah.
But at the same time, it makes no sense to stay there if Jason Tatum's going to be out
Yep.
all of next season. And so you're, for all intents and purposes, this is a reset year for the Boston Celtics.
I think they should definitely take the route the Warriors took. That's I want to say it was 20.
It was 2021.
Yeah, because it would have been the 2020. No,
it was 2020.
draft.
It was 2020.
2020.
Yes.
yeah.
2021
Yes.
was
They took
the
a gap year.
I
2020
think
was Wiseman.
Yes, because they
Yeah.
got Wiseman that year.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
yep.
think that should be the path that they try and take this year. Genuinely, whether you get a number 2 or number 1 overall pick, it is what it is with the way the lottery is now. But they should be looking to sell Anthony Simons at the deadline. They should be taking phone calls about any and every player they have that might have a breakout season, because it's going to be a bunch of guys that are going to be getting usage that they had never had before. I think they need to sell all of the value they can, because you're not winning anything this year. And to me,
Yeah.
if you have no real aspirations or goals to win anything, accumulate as much value as you can for the assets that you currently have. In this draft class, I'm about to say is if there's a draft class you want to get lucky in, it's a kid from right down the street
Flip Anthony
that
Simons.
grew up a
He might be
Celtics
a
fan
tank
that
commander
would fix a
game.
lot of issues that Celtics team has in the short term and long term. So I think that they should look at this year as you said reset. I think it kind of just needs to be a complete, like a 1-year rebuild. I don't know if that's the right
No,
way of saying
it's so
it, but-
bizarre. Like, of all the teams in the league that I think we're going to do this whole preview for, which is every team, they're probably the one I project to take the biggest win-loss jump. And I actually think it's really smart. Like,
No, it is.
You can't contend.
Yeah.
Retool your cap sheet.
Yeah, I think
like,
them and the Pacers.
rebuild as much as you can. You're still, like, start next year. You're still going to have Jaylen Brown. Still going to have Jason Tatum. You're still going to have Derek White. You just take that trio and you just find the role players again. I think that's a really smart way to
I'm gonna say you still have Peyton Pritchard.
Yep.
Like
Peyton
you
Pritchard's
still
gonna
have
be there.
pieces that like
Nemus Keita.
Nemus Keita.
Keita,
You still have pieces that can be a core of a championship team. I just think that you need to shed as much salary as possible. I think a conversation that will be had will be about a guy that is on the books right now.
Jaylen Brown?
I think that'll be a conversation soon,
Yeah.
depending on how this season goes for them.
I mean, I think
but-
the fact that they believe that they're obviously operating as though they're going to be
Yeah.
in the lottery, and Jaylen Brown is still on the roster, so I feel like that does kind of speak to what they think his abilities are as a number one
Are they
option
going to be in the
and a
lottery?
floor raiser.
They should.
They
might
will
gotta
definitely in the
start.
So
lottery.
the
They
thing
might
about
got to
the
start
Celtics-
shedding some more players off the team, gang.
we talked about that on the off-season episode, the
Yeah.
free agency recap. Basically, the Celtics, especially with how weaker the Eastern
About to say,
Conference,
they
is,
could sneak in,
they
get a playoff
could,
spot.
yeah, I say forget playing. I think if they stayed healthy and like went for it, I think they could be a playoff
They
team.
could, yeah.
The problem is, I don't
Why
think you
do
should
that?
want to be
Yeah.
a playoff team. You should want to be the worst team in the Eastern
But you
Conference.
think they're operating as a playoff team right now?
I mean, I don't think they're not operating like
To
it.
Dre's joke earlier, I think they are actually starting Luka Garza.
No, they are. But what I'm saying is, I think that no disrespect
ain't
to the
gonna lie,
Eastern
man.
Conference,
That
but you
conference-
could be a 6 seed with the combined powers of Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown. It goes back to the saying where it's like it's better to be dead last than to be middle of the
Even
pack.
if they not a six
Yeah.
seed,
And when you
bro.
have at this point in time no realistic avenue to contend because Jason Tatum is out for all of next season, the basketball, because let's be real, they were in a position where because of how expensive that roster was going to get, it was going to be difficult for them to
Yeah, they was gonna have
continue
to shed people
build
anyway.
a competitive roster past like this season, maybe next season as well. I don't like taking Jason Tatum's hurt, but the basketball gods did give you a year where you have no
it's a rebuilding
expectations.
year.
You can go into this season, for lack of a better term, you can suck this year, and no one's gonna look at you and be like, man, you wasted a year. Of
No,
Tatum."
it's smart. It's
You
legitimately
should
smart.
take advantage of this year, draft high, recoup some assets, and start setting yourself up to build for when Tatum comes back.
I think they also just have like because of the position they were in the last couple of years, they've had to draft a lot of like end of first, second round guys.
And they draft well. To their credit, they draft
do
really
draft
well.
well.
Like I mean, you've got like Jordan Walsh back there. They drafted Hugo Gonzalez this year. Baylor Shireman was their pick 2 years ago.
Was it Peyton Pritchard is one of theirs, isn't it?
Yeah, Peyton Pritchard was one of
What
theirs
pick
as
was
well.
Robert
But
Williams?
he's already
Was he a late pick?
he was. I want to say he was somewhere like mid.
I forgot.
I think he's
Yeah.
there.
He was pick 27.
Yeah. 7, yeah.
They draft well.
And
They
like,
draft really well.
now they've got those guys that like Jordan Walsh hasn't really begun minutes for them. Hugo
Gonna get
Gonzalez
minutes
is
this
the rookie
year.
they picked up.
Pritchard might start now.
That's the thing. Like Pritchard's the only one that's really been getting heavy tick for them these last couple seasons. I think you kind of, to my point earlier, you kind of throw those guys into the fire. Like I wouldn't be shocked if, actually no, I'll say this now. Jaylen Brown shouldn't play more than 50 games next year. Derek White shouldn't play more than 50 games.
They need to
next
get
year.
more
yeah.
ankle
Like
I mean, I think they
I
could
would.
have
I'd pull the Utah Jazz.
Do you think
and
they
be
have to
like-
play
No, I'm saying I think they'll end up having to give guys.
Oh,
so they
shut
don't
them
make
down.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
No, I would definitely shut them down as a first option.
Because I mean, like you sign Josh Mino, you bring in Luka Garza, Chris Boucher. Obviously, they're bringing
And
back
I'll say
James Keita, like
they haven't lost Horford yet, but I think they're preparing
yeah,
to lose him.
Seems like he's
yeah,
gonna be out the door too.
I mean, he's
so-
going to the
Warriors.
Warriors.
Seems like
Yeah. So like I feel like they do have a collection of young guys that they know nothing about because they haven't gotten meaningful.
I even think Simons is like a low cost. Like
yeah, he's on an expiring deal.
he's kind of a bet. Like let's
Yeah.
see what he turns into. Maybe he works out for
I think
them.
best case
Probably he
scenario there
doesn't.
is you
But
flip him at the deadline.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then you flip him at the
That's what
deadline
they're
for
planning to
nothing.
do.
That's a tank
So,
commander, bro.
honestly.
You got to keep him on the roster, man.
You got to find some idiot team to take on that deal.
Yeah.
Dave, you mind saying about the
I
Celtics?
think we can move on.
Oh, did y'all want to do like ranges for where you think they're gonna be?
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
idea.
well,
So I said Cavs are.
I like, we
back
lost
to
it.
where
I was about to say we lost on the Cavs.
Oh.
I mean, they'll be top two.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
gonna be top
anything
two.
lower.
I think
than
the
top
Cavs will be the best team in the league next
Yeah,
year. Best team in the West.
best
They
team in the
East.
East
They
as
should,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
They should be the one seed.
Celtics. So maybe
They
I'm lower on
should
them.
be.
I got them like
I think
10 to 15.
I think low. I think they'll hard tank into the season. I think they'll end up 13 to 15.
It
13 to
depends on
15.
how
I think that
on how
You
good
underestimate
they
how
are,
bad.
though.
You know what?
Yeah,
I got them.
don't
10,
know.
I got them. 10
I don't
to
know if they'll
12
be
now.
that bad.
the
The
reason
bottom of that East, man, got some.
reason I say that is
Yeah.
if they go with the plan that I think they will towards the end of the season, we're like, in January, Jaylen Brown has to get a surgery. Derek White has to get a surgery. Dude, their starting lineup would end up being Peyton Pritchard, Baylor Shireman, Hugo Gonzalez, and Sam Hauser.
They're gonna lose a bunch of games. What I'm saying is that start of the season, not gonna because I'm not wishing injury nobody, but like Sands, like Jaylen Brown or Derek White getting hurt to start the season, they're not going to
Yeah, that was
be a
gonna be
bad
my question.
basketball
they
team.
won't.
You're saying
And
in January.
and
What's their
then
record
I'll
in
say,
January?
and then there's gonna be teams.
Man, they
We'll get there when we get there, but there's gonna be teams that are going to be bad in the East next year,
Basically-
and they're.
just be bad.
So we can do general ranges. Anyone have them in the play-in?
no.
I think
I'm
they'll be
gonna
like
say
11.
they'll be like 9 to 12. I
You,
think
you
that's
got
the range.
you got
I'm
the
so-
ceiling in the plan.
That would be a failure to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, but
Yeah,
if they're in the play-in, I think that
I
they
ain't
messed
gonna lie.
up.
Even if you like really try to tank, bro, it's gonna be some real comp
It
at the
is.
bottom.
It
It is, but like,
It's gonna
No,
be
it's some
real comp at the
generational
bottom.
tank.
yeah,
the bottom,
I
man.
know.
especially this season.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say with
This
how
draft
good
class.
this draft class looks like it's gonna be. There are gonna be some teams around January that are
They
like
just pulled
whatever.
the plug, bro.
But I think
It's
for-
teams who doing it in October.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think they should be one of those teams. Like
They should
genuinely-
be.
They
I think they
but
should
it's
be.
it's hard to do that when you employ Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown.
No funny. I'd look at Derek White and Jaylen Brown and said, "How much money can we pay you to sit this season? Like seriously, like how much money can we give
Yeah,
you
you're
guys?
not
to
getting
sit
that
at
shit a
home,
whole
dude?
year though. That's the
Like,
problem.
That's the thing.
How many trees do you want to plant?
but even then,
Shout out to Kawhi Leonard, man.
that's a crazy.
Yeah, you're a funny guy, bruh.
But no, but like, so maximum, I think we're like 9, 10.
Yeah,
Most likely, we think
they're
they're gonna be.
they
Yeah, they
should
should
be
be
a
bad.
ceiling
12,
of a
13.
play.
Okay.
And I agree with you. I think that'll be a failure.
Okay, I think next.
Ready to move to the next team. All right, the next team we have are the New York Knicks, 51 and 31 last season. They re-signed Mikal Bridges. They brought in Malcolm Brogdon. That was the guy they just signed this week.
They just signed him.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got Jordan Clarkson, Gershon Yabusele, and then they didn't really lose anybody this offseason. So
Well, they lost the head coach. That's what.
Ah.
they did.
Oh,
Yeah.
What-
no,
I was
I
gonna say,
didn't.
That's
I
their
had on
coach.
the list.
You know what?
That's
They-
big.
That's
Biggest
their
change.
big change. Mike Brown is
they're
a bit more.
they're
offensively
banking on.
I like Mike Brown though.
I do.
was
And
thinking
I think people forget he was a defensive head coach first before he
Yeah.
went to the Warriors staff and then came to the Kings. So I don't think it's like people are like, oh, their defense is gonna fall off a cliff without Tibbs.
No.
I don't know if that's really the case. I think Mike Brown is a better defensive coach than he's been given credit for.
They still have really good defensive pieces.
No, they
Yeah,
do.
they
still
do.
have really
That's what I'm saying.
defensive pieces.
I feel like because a lot of people were kind of shocked when Tibbs got fired. Matter of fact, didn't some of the players kind of come out and say that?
Yeah, they were really
they didn't.
surprised.
Yeah, and I mean, I
Getting fired after a 51 win season.
I
does
think
feel
Tibbs
odd.
is a great coach, and I'm not gonna blame him for a lot of the shortcomings of that Knicks team. But if you're the general manager, if you're management, and you look at that team, and you're like, what can you do? You really can't move any of the roster pieces. So the only other option is to move the coach.
It,
So-
it was a. I think they had determined whether correct or incorrect. We're going to find out this season, but they determined that they have basically a ceiling.
Yep.
With Tibbs as their head coach.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you look at how his tenure has gone in New York, I don't think that's a wrong assessment.
I don't think you just have to look at his tenure in New York. Shout out to
His
Tibbs.
tenure overall, yeah.
So he's one of the best defensive coaches. Literally invented a defensive scheme in icing.
Yeah.
Like he's his. They need to donate his brain to basketball coaching afterwards.
Yeah.
Like just allow people to pick his brain on what defense was. But he is a very, very limited offensive ceiling to me. That Knicks offense down the stretch half the time
So
became,
nasty.
hey, Jalen,
Save
Different
us.
ways
It
to
was,
save
it
us.
was Jalen Brown save us.
where do you want the ball at?
Jalen,
Yeah, like where do you want the ball at? And
from Brunson.
you know, it wasn't.
Brunson.
Yeah, it wasn't great for Cat always, but in the few times Cat did have it going on in the playoffs. Hey, Cat, where do you want the ball? It wasn't a lot of what's the right way to say it? Ingenuitive offense whatsoever. He wasn't putting guys in places to succeed. Guys were just
They weren't
out
beating-
there getting tough buckets. That shot on Asar Thompson, that's just a hell of a play. There was nothing. No funny. Tell me if I'm wrong. Comment section. That was just a 1-4 flat.
Yeah, just ISO.
Yeah.
Like they called a
It was just
1-4
ISO.
flat in the NBA. Like you know anything about what a 1-4 flat is? That's like 1970s basketball, dude. Like
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson
clear
got a-
out.
Yeah,
the ISO.
like, and I have to take a jumper here. Like that's
Yep.
what that is. And Jalen Brunson just made a hell of a play. So I think Mike Brown will come in. I don't know how much split action they'll be able to do with that roster. They don't necessarily have guys that have played in that system, and
They have
that's
the personnel for it though.
They
I think
do
they
it-
have the skill sets.
they
for it.
have the personnel, but making that adjustment from
It's big.
essentially like hold your spacing offense to split action, that's a huge adjustment for players. And I will say, I think they have the personnel. I don't know if they have the ball handler. Jalen Brunson's an on-ball guy.
Yeah.
The reason why split action works is even with the Kings, De'Aaron Fox is very on ball. A guy like a Keegan Murray, even a DeMontis Sabonis, even though he's not a shooter, they're comfortable operating off ball, becoming hubs, and just flowing an offense outside of
Yeah, you
where
got guys who
the
are
main
comfortable
ball
taking
handlers
handoffs.
at. You know, like
I
Jalen
think
Brunson's
you
a
could
heavy
say-
ISO guy. That's
you
just
could-
is what he is.
You could say like maybe with guys like Mikhail, they could have like.
Yeah, I think Mikhail's pretty comfortable taking that
Yeah.
handoff.
I think
But
he could do it.
hey, we gonna get to Mikhail in a
He did-
second,
he did-
man.
I'm gonna be so real, bro. We need to change. Batum is hooped in the fourth quarter recently, bro.
Rob
Fourth quarter
Robertson.
yelling, "Why the hell Mikhail in?" Is about to become my thing, bro. Because
Can I want to ask you a question
What's up?
specifically because for those who do not know, he's like the resident Karl Anthony Towns fan.
Yes, yeah. Cat guy.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, do you think that Karl Anthony Towns, with his defensive limitations on the Knicks, can they win a championship that way? With the personnel they currently have, can they do it?
I don't think so. I think the problem there, and I mean we saw it against the.
You think they can
Pacers.
make the finals?
I mean, their biggest like competition is injured, so they should.
I'm not gonna lie. Was that their biggest competition?
Would you take them over the Cavs?
Oh, Pacers. If you're talking Pacers.
I'd take the Cavs over.
I mean, I think on paper I would take the Cavs, but I do think if we're strictly speaking on like matchup issues,
Who
I
are
think
you taking in that series?
who? Cavs,
Cavs Knicks.
Cavs Knicks.
Cavs Knicks.
I'm not gonna lie. I would take the Knicks.
I ain't gonna
taking
lie,
the
man.
Cavs.
Like
I
have
one,
I
that's
have no
obviously a
faith in both of
second-round
those
matchup.
teams, bro.
Obviously, second round. Yeah.
It's obviously a second round.
Why is it
matchup.
Because they're both gonna be top 3 seeds.
No, because Donovan Mitchell's on the team.
You're hilarious.
They're meeting at the
You're hilarious, man.
If that's not the conference finals, that means Trae Young's the GOAT. Because that's the only way that doesn't happen. Or, maybe Kate Cunningham.
But yeah,
is-
to circle back to the cat stuff, I think we very clearly seen what his like max, where he's good at defensively in a playoff setting, which is playing a 4. And I don't think that they can do that consistently with the personnel that they have.
Yeah.
And I do think the problem that you run into when he plays the 5 is
Layup
if there's a team with
I'll be honest.
if there's a team that has multiple threats to score on the court, you can't hide him and
Jalen Brunson.
Brunson. And obviously at that point, if I'm a head coach, well, I mean I can't bench Jalen Brunson.
Nope.
Yeah. You
So
can't.
I mean the next step there is you got to be the guy who sits down here. And in that Pacers series, if you look at the on-offs, when Jalen Brunson was on with no Cat, it was good. When Cat was on with no Brunson, it was good. But when they were on together, they could not get a stop.
It's a defensive issue.
And so that is an issue I think that they're going to probably run into again. So I mean they could make the finals because I legitimately speaking, their only main competition should be the Cavs.
Yeah.
But
I
am I comfortable in
them
them winning 4 series? I don't know, man.
If they get knocked off by anyone before the Cavs, I think it's like an
that's
failure.
And I feel like for both the Cavs and the Knicks, if that
Yep.
happens,
they better
Yep.
make the
I would
conference
say I
You
think
make
both
something
teams
crazy
have to
fun.
make the conference finals, and if they don't, I think if you're the general manager of the team, you have to ask yourself, is it worth running this team back next year?
I mean, they can't blow it up.
Yeah, you know
I
what?
will
They
say
sure
that
can.
they just paid everybody. That's the
They
issue.
did.
And at this point, there's only one
Picks.
person you could move, and it is Cat to me. I think Cat's the only one with the value that would be worth some type of return. Issue is like, I ain't gonna lie, gang. You just gave up.
I would say if Cat
Gave up
if the
something
Knicks
for him.
give
Yeah.
up on Cat, I think that tanks a lot of what you would get in return from.
Yeah,
him.
it just it does. So I don't. I struggle to like.
I mean, they give up on Cat. They going right back to Jaylen Brown save us or Jalen Brunson save us. Yeah,
they are.
That's a question I wanted to present to y'all. What if it doesn't work with Cat? What kind of is the ideal partner for Jalen Brunson? Because I'm gonna be honest, if it didn't work with Julius Randle,
Like Anthony
if it
Davis.
didn't work with Karl Anthony Towns, is it funny? Is it that
It's like
conversation
Anthony
now?
Davis.
where
Yeah, it's really like
is it that conversation where like, all right, you need one guy to work? And I know people hate this, but I think it's very real. Not everybody can be a one on a championship team.
I think a Randall
Yeah.
S guy could have worked, but he had a lot of
you
injury
need
problems.
you need a front court guy.
I mean, a front court guy who has like decent ball handling abilities and a good playmaker.
No, you're talking offense.
You know who you just named? Pascal Siakam. Issue is somebody else already traded.
Yeah, somebody got him.
Siakam would have been the perfect
Siakam
guy.
would've been really
He would've
good.
been the perfect guy.
But that's just offensively. I think you need a front court guy that's like a demon defensively to work next to a guy like Jalen Brunson.
How many of them dudes exist?
That's
And
the
then
biggest problem.
Anthony
I
Davis?
think,
I said Anthony
it's
Davis.
really AD, and I think that
to
becomes the
point,
problem.
How many 6-foot number one options exist?
And I think
It's probably just him.
I think
Yeah.
that
Donovan
becomes
Mitchell.
that becomes a combo that gets uncomfortable, man. Like,
Yeah.
at what point do you look at it and say, like, okay, I can't blame Cat anymore. I can't blame my coach. I can't blame my wings. Jalen Brunson can play one
I can
hell of a
blame my
series.
wings.
I mean, ideally, he's supposed
But,
to be
like,
here too, anyways.
I'm gonna say
Ideal.
I think a 6-foot guard should, in today's NBA, man, like,
It should-
and this
probably
is
year two.
I'm not trying to like slight. I love Jalen Brunson. I had him third on my point
He's
guard. list.
phenomenal.
He is phenomenal. I just think that he is limited simply because, as great as he is on offense, there's so much you have to do for him
You
defensively.
have to insulate him.
Yep.
It insulate. And on the flip side of that, because of how he operates on offense, you kind of do need a Cat. You kind of do need a sitter that's going to be willing to hold 5-out spacing, cut down on his post-ups, cut down on his on-ball reps. I'm sorry, it's hard to find a Karl Anthony Towns adjacent offensive player who's willing to scale down, but also a top 5 defender. Like, at
That
some
player
point,
doesn't exist.
I'm saying,
Well, I guess
at what
Wemby.
point?
I mean, to be fair, we
Wemby,
did see him with iHeart and Mitchell Robinson, and they did look pretty decent offensively, especially considering that was before they got Mikal too. So it was a lot of like Josh Hart, iHeart. Who else was on the line?
Josh Hart
It was some real nasty offensive
Josh
lineups.
Hart was like
Yeah.
the best shooter God's ever.
Oh yeah,
thrown.
in the Philly
Josh Hart
series,
was
yeah.
shooting.
But I think my question is, like, at what point is it? What is Jalen Brunson's ceiling? I guess is really what it comes down to. Because, like, if he's my one, and I think his contract is the thing that's helping him out the most right now, because he is the best
Oh,
contract.
he definitely
has.
getting that
His
Kawhi.
contract.
He getting that
His
Kawhi to that table.
contract.
How many
many-
threes he playing?
How many trees is he
I
playing?
don't
That's
think
the
he.
real
I
question.
don't think he getting trees. Like, check how many billboards he got on Times
You
Square
know,
right
you
now.
know, you know
man.
that pool they built in Central Park.
But I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at with the whole
Yeah.
Brunson Knicks. Just like that experiment that they're doing right now. It's like, at what point is it like
I
this iteration of this team kind of has reached its ceiling?
I do think bringing in
gonna find
Mike
out
Brown
for
is gonna. Yeah, I do think bringing in Mike Brown is gonna give you that
Yeah.
answer because you're gonna figure out
Yeah, they're gonna have to switch
maximum
philosophy.
offensive potential
Yeah.
of this team and see if you can maintain the defense to a level to compensate for that. And
I know my biggest issue with the roster, and this is like a slight, philosophical tangent. I do not believe in paying wings who do not rim protect, self-create, or pass. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I fear Mikal Bridges falls under that category.
does you count OG there too?
I mean, see, OG's a little different because
He can rim protect.
he provides legitimate like floor raising value defensively. So I
Knicks fans
understand.
don't agree with you on that though.
I understand. What OG?
I think Knicks fans like Mikal more than OG.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I ain't
Let
gonna
me
lie.
go confirm.
That's real.
I was
'Cause-
talking to. Shout out to Julie, fan of the
Well,
show.
he went to Villanova.
Because I'm not gonna lie, man. OG like legitimately floor raises their defense, and there's like statistical evidence behind that. So I understand.
He's also playing
paying
that
a-
position.
Yeah, paying that guy $40 million. Because I ain't gonna lie, that's some real deal. Like he's playing a 4.
I like. They do like OG.
Yeah, and there's some real times where he's like playing a 5 for them. So I understand that. But with Mikal, I'm gonna be honest. For one, his style of defense, I don't think it's super duper impactful. Like that's not a guy you can put on every type of player as a point of attack, which is kind of a problem to me. And then when he gets off the ball, weak side, kind of questionable. Also, not generating a ton of turnovers either. So when I look at it, it's okay. Well, what about your offense? His self creation is like it's cool, it's decent. It's not $40 million a year good, but it's decent. You look at what he does as a passer, and then I mean, like it just. I don't. For me personally, with these types of wings, I don't. Just in general with roster building, right? If you are not floor raising my team as a playmaker or a scorer, you're not floor raising my team as a defender, right? You're not giving me rim protective value. You're not raising my defensive floor when you're on the court. I just cannot justify maxing you. I mean, in this case, he's not getting a max, but
He's getting a lot of
that's a lot of money.
It's a role player max. We'll put it that way.
And I'm gonna be honest, is he a max role player? Is that when I look at a guy and I say, is that the guy that I want to be the best role player
Who is a max
on my
role
team?
player to you?
I think OG is. I think OG is. I think Derek White is. I think the healthy
That's
idea
Lamar,
of Lonzo is.
The healthy idea.
Okay.
I'll say to
Very
pivot
heavy on idea there.
to pivot on your point to the next team in the Eastern Conference. And I want to ask.
Oh, we got to get ranges first.
Oh well, I think the Knicks will be a
top
top
two.
Yeah,
I think everybody has
top
Yeah, like
top
2 to 4.
three.
Yeah,
2 to 3. They actually
yeah,
one
they
to
should
3.
not
One
be
to 3.
any
One to
lower
3.
than
There-
One to
there's a
3.
reason. But to pivot, because I want to ask you this. Obviously, the Pacers are going to be a lot worse. Tyrese Halliburton's going to be out for the entire season. That's the engine of their offense. Would you rather have the Knicks wing room or the Pacers wing room?
I'm trying to think of all the
I'm not gonna
Pacers
lie.
players.
That's Neesmith. I'm kind of counting Nembhard as a wing.
Yeah,
I think he
yeah.
operates
Obi's
more as a
Toppin?
wing. You got Siakam in there.
So Siakam, Neesmith, Nimhard,
Toppin?
Toppin. I'm forgetting.
I ain't gonna give me
I'll say,
the
'cause
Bennett Mathurin.
are we talking
Give
about? are we
me
talking
the
about in a
Pacers.
vacuum or with their contract encompassing?
I think
at
you have to
vacuum, I
take. in-
still want them.
I'm honest. I think you still have to take their contract.
Okay, well, then you ask the
into-
Pacers.
into account.
Because I mean,
I think
It's the
Siakam.
Pacers then.
Siakam's
Yeah,
just
'cause
by
Siakam
far
comes
the
to the
best
wing.
player on that list. Yeah, he kind of skews the
he's
whole
the
list
most
for me.
impactful.
They have a bunch of those dribble pass shoot guys,
Yeah.
which is what I think every NBA team should be striving for.
Yeah, but yeah, Pacers.
Yeah, we can go to the Pacers. So the Pacers were 50-32 last season, although, as we pointed out, Tyrese Halliburton did tear it was Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
In the
Game
game
seven
7
of the
of the
finals.
last game.
My God.
Shout out to the 2K League.
Oh man,
Game
We'll
7.
tell that story one day.
Game 7 to like the worst possible time. He's done for like all of next season, and it may not be.
he's coming back in
after that.
2026.
Yeah.
But they re-signed Isaiah Jackson and James Wiseman is
Yeah.
pointed out by the last podcast. Whatever. J Huff is there. You know about J Huff as Rockets fans, and then they lost Miles Turner to the Bucks.
That was a win.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let y'all go. So I want to look up the future draft picks.
I think.
Please start with what you just said
Yeah,
about.
that was-
Oh, no,
Miles Turner.
I ain't gonna lie, funny enough, it's so before we get on the Miles Turner rant, with the Pacer stuff, something that really went underrated. Honestly, I should have put on the acquisition list. They bought their pick back.
Yeah.
Yep.
They know what they're doing this
That's
season.
what I think it did back. My fault. I missed that one.
Yeah.
That was draft. I want to say that was draft night.
Yeah, I forgot what they traded, but I know that they traded for the rights to their 2026
because
pick
I want to
back.
look that up before we spoke.
They
They
got their pick
have
back.
their pick this year. They have their pick next year. Matter of fact, they just have all their picks.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
They-
I
they
remember
have all their picks.
Yeah, I forgot how they.
What
bought
was
it
the
back this
trade?
year, but they did buy their pick back.
They have no outgoing
forgot
first
they
round
did
pick.
that.
Because I remember that was like a really huge thing after
They
the
was probably
Halliburton
from
injury.
Toronto, no? Because they got
Yeah, but I don't
Something
remember
like
what
that.
they gave up though.
because that's how they got Pascal. I don't know.
But yeah, that was
But-
a huge thing because like the Celtics, they are also one of those teams that have the
Very
grades
smart.
to bottom out.
I think their path to bottoming out is a bit
was-
easier.
It was
It is.
they sent pick 23 to New Orleans because remember that New Orleans flipped 23
In
to
that
go up
nasty
and
trade.
get it. So they flipped 23 and got their own 20.
Wait. The Pelicans had their pick.
Yes.
And wait till we get to the
Pelicans get
Pelicans, bro. Wait, I ain't gonna lie, man.
I'm looking at it right now. The Pacers, they
I'm not gonna.
That,
Hey,
like-
bruh.
Yo, I don't want to go on a tangent, but that might be one of
might be
the
the
worst
worst
draft night in
ever.
NBA.
yeah,
history.
I'm gonna say I'm looking at this right now. But the Pelicans had their 2026 pick. They traded their this year pick 23 for the rights to their 2026 pick.
Hey, bro.
And then the Pelicans flip. We'll get to that.
Wait,
on the
okay,
other
wait,
draft
wait,
side.
real quick,
The
real quick.
Pelicans might have given up like 3 top.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
move
but,
on.
but real quick. What day was this trade? Was this was post
June
Achilles there, right?
17th.
Yeah, so it was post Achilles there.
Yeah, June 17th.
that was
Yeah,
post game 7.
Wait till we get to the.
Okay.
Pelicans. Let's get about the.
But yeah,
the
Pacers.
Jeez Louise, man.
Similar to Celtics, this team I think is also going to take a huge drop in the standings.
As they should.
Yeah.
I can lead off with my projection. I think this is also going to be the 10 to 12 range.
I ain't gonna, I'm
max.
kind of worried that might be sneaky.
I slightly disagree with you.
Really?
I slightly disagree. When I look at their team versus the Celtics, they obviously are going to be worse. Their roster is still pretty damn.
They have a very deep.
Yeah.
roster.
I think the reason that roster worked, and we've had this debate before, I think you credit it a lot more to Carlisle's coaching scheme and stuff like that. I credit it a lot more to just Tyrese Halliburton.
My pushback on that would be the system's obviously going to be different with no Hallie. I've seen what a Pascal Siakam team looks like.
Yeah, he's
It's
a
not
really.
a-
I ain't like he's a
it's not a-
sneakily very
honestly,
good floor raiser.
It's not a 12, 13, 14 seed.
Yeah,
And
you're
it's
not
not
wrong.
like
In the East,
they're,
I ain't gonna
they're
lie,
not
man.
talent deprived. Like, I get the psychosis Andrew Nemhard has on NBA Twitter right now.
Yeah.
He's getting a tad overrated to me. But
He
Andrew
averaged 9 points last year.
Yeah, like,
let's,
But I'll say,
let's-
but when
take a
Halliburton's
breath.
been out, he's
Yeah, like Andrew
Yeah.
Nemhard is
Pretty
a
good.
Jim
Andrew
McConnell.
Nemhard. I think is a like starting
Yeah, I'll take
caliber
that.
guard in the NBA. T.J. McConnell is God's gift to backup point guard.
Yeah, he's a really good
like you
backup.
still
He's
like,
like 32.
He's 30, yeah. Like you still have that wing room with Aaron Nesmith. You still have Pascal Siakam, obviously. Seeing what they expect out of Benedict Mathurin this year, I think this is his make or break season, and I know how guys look in their contract years.
Yeah.
So like I think that they still have a good collection of talent. J Huff, Lord, like bringing
that was
him
a
in
really
there,
good
like,
pickup.
I think he's an immediate upgrade over Miles Turner. Respectfully, like I think that genuinely, like
I ain't gonna lie, on a
think-
per minute basis.
I'm not
he
saying like
definitely is.
I think that
factor in contracts.
I think that there are certain aspects of that team where, like, obviously losing Tyrese Halliburton takes them from championship contention, but I don't think that they're gonna. If they want to bottom out and really tank, they really got to look at dudes.
I ain't gonna lie, you
like,
gotta send Pascal
can't-
home,
Yeah.
bro.
No, you know what? I'm
got to
I
send
completely
Pascal home.
blanked on how good of a floor raiser Pascal.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
And they're still
They're
deep.
probably gonna be a playing team,
Yeah.
especially how weak the East is.
They should.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Their pathway to success, and I don't mean disrespect because you're wearing the Cougar gear right now. They have to prioritize Jarris Walker's development.
Yeah, they got to give Jarris
Genuinely,
Walker a lot of
like
minutes.
Jarris Walker has to start and
I mean,
play
they
like
gotta sit Pascal, bro.
30-something minutes
They
a night.
got-
And,
they
and that
gotta-
comes
they
with
really
like
gotta sit Pascal.
Pascal. You got to look at Pascal and be like,
I gotta send TJ.
"Hey, bro, go
home, too,
vacation.
bro.
Like, go travel the world."
Yeah.
Go ahead and let your ankle.
TJ
heal
might gotta
real
go
quick.
But they have a ton of those guys, and it was always I don't want to say pushback on the Halliburton point. I think he was a genuine ceiling raiser for them. The floor of that team to me was just how much depth they had, the quality of their role players, the type of role players they had. You said it, Will. Like they have almost every single dribble, pass, and shoot wing that you would want, even if they're not household names. Dog, I saw Aaron Nesmith hit 7
I'll say
threes in a
that-
quarter.
Yeah.
that's how they were able to compete with OKC. And
Like,
They were.
that's-
It
what
was
they were
pure
doing.
depth and magnet ball.
I seen TJ.
Like we
McConnell
talk
drop
about
15 in a
like
quarter in
I don't want to
finals.
go on too much of a tangent, so I want to limit myself. But we talk about like the Thunder 5-out offense. The way the Pacers play 5-out offense, I think, is the way a lot of people envision 5-out when they hear it.
Yeah.
It is legitimately 5 dudes on the floor that can shoot the ball, put the ball on the floor, make one basic read, and just continue to drive and kick, drive and kick, drive and kick. They can run. Rick Carlisle is a genius when it comes to running double dragon horns. He abuses that play so much because it causes so much confusion. And the only way you can run it is if my 2 screeners are smart enough to know this is when I slip. This is when I roll. My man's pressing up on me too much. I'm going to rescreen for Tyrese. They have a bunch of dudes that just understand that. And I know you were sick of me in the Twitter chat. Freedom FC. They're allowed to
No,
do
they're definitely-
whatever they want. Aaron Nesmith is allowed to take garbage pull-up threes. He's allowed to take terrible shots. Andrew Nemhard is allowed to ISO with 8 dribbles against the
In the
NBA's
clutch.
MVP
It's
in the
Freedom FC.
clutch. And a lot of those guys, they're going to be a worse team. But a lot of those guys are going to be told, here's even more freedom. There are legitimately
Yeah, I ain't
no
gonna lie.
limitations.
This still
on
like
your
a
ball.
43-win team,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying.
I'm
Like,
not gonna
y'all
lie.
talk about how
they
bad
might,
the East
yeah.
is, man. Like,
that's a great point.
they're a sneakily good team with a very good coach, a system that they have in place, and one guy in Pascal
really good
Siakam
start,
that's
yeah.
like, he don't lose games, dude. Like, go look at them Toronto years. We used to call them
And
purgatory
guys
for a
itching to
reason.
prove themselves too.
Can I want to ask you because I think if when he's going to have to go through and do like a all right read hate list because like, De'Aaron Fox is on his, but I think everyone on this panel
Oh, you guys are missing
doesn't
something
like
about
Miles Turner. So I want to
Oh,
ask
man.
you as
Okay, I don't hate. I don't. It's not like
he's
I don't-
overrated.
Like I like Legos. I'm cool with the way he dresses. I have nothing.
I'll say we
personal
can
against Miles
transition
Turner,
this
like,
talking
yeah.
to the next team on the list.
was gonna
No, I want to
Yeah.
before I need him to get his Miles
what's up?
Turner
Yeah.
take. So I need to know
No, you got it. You got it.
how much does losing Miles Turner hurt the Pacers?
You said how much does that hurt him?
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie. Does it?
And now can I
Does it?
Now can I
I mean, do you think it hurts them?
No.
Can I give you a follow-up question, right? So we can pivot to the next team. How much does Miles Turner hurt the Milwaukee
Oh,
Bucks?
is that the next team?
You know what? Let's pivot. Introduce the Bucks.
Oh man.
That is the next team. The Bucks were at 48-34 last season. The notable additions: Miles Turner. They also got Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, and Amir Coffey. Notably lost Damian Lillard. They waived him, stretched him, waived his contract, which is talk about that's kind of nasty. They lost Pat Connaughton. They lost Brook Lopez to the Clippers.
Yep.
I'll let y'all take that one.
I want your
I
thoughts
say, yeah,
on Miles
transition to
Turner
Miles
to the
Turner,
Milwaukee
man.
Bucks, man.
I mean, for one, I think with the and this is honestly unfair to him, but us had already mentioned it with the Dame stuff. They had to stretch and waive Dame's contract to get him.
It's like what, $20 million.
Yeah, so he's
I'll give my favorite stat on that. No team in the NBA
Yeah.
has ever won a championship with more than 5% of their money in dead cap, and they will have they will have around 12%.
Well,
Yeah, and that essentially
That's
makes
crazy.
him like a $50 million player. Like,
Yep.
and when you take into account what they had to do to get him.
Yeah, so Miles Turner, they're effectively
And-
paying Miles Turner like.
And man,
50,
I'm
70.
gonna be real, man. I'm gonna be real. So first and foremost, right? I think, defensively, obviously,
Overrated.
he gets overrated a lot, and I think people
But he
start
blocks
to see
shots.
that in the playoffs. You know, as they got deeper into the playoffs.
Yeah.
He like the shot blocking is cool. He's not a real rim protector, and then obviously the biggest thing for me, I cannot stand centers who cannot rebound. And we talked about Jaren Jackson Jr. in the what was it, the power forward preview?
yeah.
Yeah.
Miles Turner is down there with him when it comes to bad rebounding bigs. They are on the Mount Rushmore currently of bad rebounding bigs. And I think for a team that's very clearly trying to make sure that Giannis does not have to play center, bringing him a center who cannot rebound, to me, it just makes no... And even with the space and stuff, Miles Turner is a pretty solid three-point shooter.
He is.
If you look at his like year-over-year numbers, it does fluctuate a lot. And then I'm going to be honest with all these other centers, it's not high volume. So it's like, yeah, he gives you a spacing element, but I mean, how much do you lose from him being a middle of the pack roller? How much do you lose from him not being a good screen pick and roll guy, period? Mind you, he's on the Pacers. He's playing with Tyrese Halliburton, and he's still middle of the pack as a roller, right? So here you're going from playing, y'all know who's starting at point guard for the Bucks. He's going from playing with Tyrese Halliburton to playing with that guy. Oh, bruh, he getting Ryan Rollins pick and rolls, bruh. I'm gonna be real, man. I ain't gonna lie. Hey,
Dude, every day I look at the Bucks roster.
It's
I'm
comedy, bro.
I'ma
It's
just-
a hilarious roster.
It's the second funniest roster.
I'm gonna just close my rant by saying this, bro. Hey,
We'll
bruh.
get to the.
We will not.
But it's a top 2 funniest roster in the league just because you look at those names and you're like, how on earth was this a top 4
Yeah,
seed?
bro, I ain't gonna lie.
Corpse of Brook Lopez. Kevin
He's not even there
Porter
anymore,
Jr. He's
man.
not even there anymore. They replaced the Corpse of Brook Lopez with Miles Turner, which is
Meh.
meh. I mean, sure, it's an upgrade because he'll play more games and he can move his feet around
It's,
a little bit.
yeah,
But like,
I
you
was
know,
about to say he can't
yeah,
do-
I was saying, it's not a, it's marginal move,
brought back the
right?
Nazis, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the
Yeah,
Nazis.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna
they
be
signed
real,
the
bro.
Nazis.
I don't know why y'all are forgetting about like the biggest X factor of them all, bro. Like they got Kyle Kuzma, man.
Oh, yeah, they have
man.
Like, come on, bro. Respect
Their
Kuz.
roster
Shout out Kuz, bro.
Respect
Is their
Kuz.
second best player Bobby Portis?
Yes. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm not gonna lie. Objectively speaking, it might be Brian, bro.
Maybe.
Nah,
It might be, bro.
It's Bobby
It's-
Portis.
no.
I ain't gonna lie.
It's not KPJ.
Since he done got there, I'm gonna be real, bruh.
Nah, I will
Bro,
say.
look at
I'm
him.
gonna
We're
be
talking-
real,
We're talking
bruh.
live. We're
Talk about
talking
low-
since he got
talk about low
narrative.
calorie hoops.
I'm going to pull up his numbers since
It's a low calorie team.
Oh no, I ain't gonna lie. The numbers suck, but in terms of like relative
Like, it's
importance to the team, bruh, I ain't gonna lie, man. And once again, I'm gonna end my rant because I ain't gonna lie. We just talked about how ass the team is, bro. Dog, if this team wins more than 48 games this year, bruh,
Give Giannis.
give Giannis
Yeah,
the
80
MVP
is in.
trophy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Man.
Because I ain't
Give
gonna lie.
Giannis the MVP
Hands
trophy,
down,
bro.
I wouldn't even argue it.
If this is a top 4 seed, I don't care. I don't care that that's the East, bro. If this is a top 4 seed in this conference, just put his name on the MVP trophy, bro.
Yep.
Cause this team is terrible. I'm gonna be real, bro.
Yeah.
We talking about teams that would be worse than the league caliber, bro. If you took Giannis off this team, I ain't gonna lie.
They would be the worst
We
team.
we go on 2012 Charlotte Hornets levels, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man.
I'm with you there. Okay, who's next?
Next up,
Oh,
have-
we gotta give ranges. We gotta give ranges.
Oh.
I ain't gonna lie. Do you even want to do that for this team? Bro?
I
I'll be
think,
real,
I think
man.
this is another.
I think they have the widest range in the league because
They-
I think they're one Giannis injury away
One-
from, to
yeah.
your point, being the worst team in basketball.
I think right now I would put them at like 5 or 6.
I'm not even giving them a number, bro. They range is Giannis.
I was gonna say
Their range is Giannis, bro.
funny part, and we'll talk about we go to the West, but you'll never guess what team had their pick this year and traded it away.
Oh,
Hey, I swear to God,
get
it was
to
the
that.
Pelicans.
We'll get to that.
Swear, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
No.
We gotta have a award for the worst exec in the
well,
league.
I think
Jesus Christ,
we'll
man.
get to that later, but I never mind. I don't want to get
I ain't gonna lie, what-
about him.
We don't gotta go on a huge tangent, but what was the trade, bro?
It was the better of the Pelicans and Bucks. picks.
Yes.
So they would get whichever pick was better between the Pelicans and the Bucks that they were going to get, and they traded that to the Hawks.
They traded the swap rights for it. Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Mind you,
Boy, what
they
the?
got that
What are these?
because they traded
Oh my
Pacers
God.
pick after Ali.
No. They would have had the Pacers pick
No,
and that
it would have
pick.
been both. Yeah,
They would have had both
Bro,
picks.
they would have had 3 chances at a lottery
like a
pick.
top 5 pick, honestly.
But hear me out.
Oh my
Derek
God.
Derek Queen.
Derek
Queen, though.
Derek
Derek
Queen.
Queen.
No, we gotta move on. We gotta.
Derek Queen, bless your heart, man.
So we got the Pistons 44-38 notable additions. Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson. They may or may not be bringing back.
They're not. They're not.
Malik.
Yeah, I think they said they aren't.
They
I
said,
thought I saw some today that said that.
no, they got Duncan Robinson there. They moved off.
No, I thought I mean, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I saw something that said Malik Beasley was still entertaining returning to the Pistons.
Malik Beasley will entertain it.
I'm about to say, he gonna
Yeah.
entertain
you
going
think
anywhere.
the Pistons don't want
I
him
think
back?
they moved on.
If I'm the Pistons, you got to bring that dude back. He was
If I was the Pistons, I would. He's already got chemistry with Cade in that starting five.
he was high key, like a top
Yeah.
5 player.
He was
in the
really,
league.
really
Might-
good.
might be
Really,
big.
really
That might be
good.
selling him
Yeah,
short.
especially in the regular
He's
season.
higher
Yeah.
than
But
We don't got to get into Malik Beasley's case. Does Malik Beasley want to stay in Detroit?
I'll say notable L's. They lost Tim Hardaway
Can-
Jr. to the Nuggets, and then Dennis Schroeder's on the Kings. I believe. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like Malik Beasley's switching area codes. For like what
Non-basketball.
Yeah, non-basketball
reasons.
reasons. We'll leave it at that. We don't have to get into it. But I think the Pistons are probably a team that is going to make the playoffs, but I think their fans are going to be more disappointed than you think. I think in a year where you project Asar to be better coming off the blood clots, it took a little bit for him to get back to form. I think he really started like hooping down the stretch of last season. I expect him to be a lot more improved this year. I think Cade can take another leap. I think Duran can get even better. It's like another guy that really started putting it together down the end of last year. But it's just like, man, Tobias Harris a year older, like Malik Beasley out, Duncan Robinson in. I don't know if
That's not an upgrade.
I'll tell you who I think
upgrade.
I think the ceiling of their season really depends on Ron Holland.
Yeah,
Like,
that'll be a
I
big.
think-
Or like whatever happens with Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, or Jaden Ivey too. But I think one of those two. I think it's at this point more likely to be Ron Holland.
I agree.
If he does take a leap as like a guy that you can put the ball in his hands, he can. I don't want to say run some second unit lineups, but score in them, which is just what they need. They just I think they need genuine scoring options outside of a Cade Duran pick and roll, especially in the playoffs. If he does take a jump, I think that they could reach a different level.
My issue with them is every permutation of the playoffs that I try to think of in my head, barring injury, I think it's a second round ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, I think their fans will be disappointed, but like with the,
It's not a bad team.
I think they're on schedule.
Yeah, they are.
Like,
yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know if I would say that. One thing I was going to bring up with the Pistons is if you look at, I mean, unless you're going to argue that the Rockets, Thunder, and Magic are ahead of schedule, you look at those teams that were picking high in those draft classes with the Magic. They all, I think the Pistons are the worst setup of those group of guys, right? Like
I ain't gonna lie, man. They
But I
won
think
12
the
games
part
years
of
ago,
that.
though.
No,
gang.
but go on the list of people you just named. Thunder outlier. They happen to. I'm not gonna say stumble.
You know, we throw them
but
out there.
they got SGA. Like throw
stumbled.
them Thunder,
Okay,
right?
but look at-
Rockets added KD.
But that's my
The
point.
Magic just got Desmond.
That's
Bane.
my point, though. My point is that you look at all those other teams, and they have drafted better, they've signed better free agents, or they traded for better guys. And the Pistons, like, I can't look at their offseason and say, I think they made their roster significantly better than it was last season. They're banking on internal development, which I'm not saying it's a bad gamble. But like I said, when the Magic are bringing in Desmond Bane, the Hawks, in conference, rival they got to get through. The Hawks did a lot of really good changes this offseason. Like, for you to you didn't get out the first round last year, and you didn't really make any meaningful changes, and your entire kind of hope is this: maybe Jaden Ivey breaks out, maybe Ron Holland breaks out, maybe Cade Cunningham takes it to another degree. And I love Cade Cunningham. I think he's a great player. So maybe he does, right? And made us look stupid, but I don't know, man. If I was a Pistons fan, I'd be a little disappointed that we didn't necessarily do anything externally to really improve our chances of getting.
Yeah,
coming out
I mean, I think for them, I don't. For one, I don't think they are on the same timeline. Because I will say, I think out of all of those teams, they were starting from a worse spot. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. We a year
rebuilding
removed
a lot
from the
longer than
Wingstop
us.
Pistons, man. We are a year
You are a
removed from
year
that.
removed from the Wingstop Pistons.
That happened 1 year ago.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna lie, that team even taking a leap from what were they 13,
Yeah.
14 and 68 to 44 and 38. That's kind of
That was a huge leap.
exponential in
That's a
itself.
huge leap.
I'm
That's
gonna be
valid.
honest with the other part of that is I think all of those other teams that you named got past the okay, let's see what we have mode, right? I think for the Rockets, obviously, the last 2 seasons, it's been let's see what we have, right? We saw what we had in the playoffs. We said, okay, let's trim the fat up and then bringing a guy, right? I think Orlando has also been in let's see what we have mode for the last 2 years. They saw what they have. Now they're in let's trim up the fat. Let's get rid of some of these weaknesses on our team, right? I think for the Pistons, this is their let's see what they have year.
They're kind of, that's a great point. I don't know why I blanked on the Wingstop Pistons. They're kind of rebuilding the rebuild a little bit here.
Not kind of.
Yeah, like they a year removed from winning 14 games.
That's
valid, but I don't know, man. It's like Kate Cunningham is going into year 5, or technically year 4, but year 5.
I don't think we'd be having these questions if you knew what Jaden Ivey was, and I think that's the biggest thing for them. I would cut my losses.
They also switched head coaches twice.
Yeah, they. That's actually a great point too.
Yeah.
But like I think because you don't know what Jaden Ivey is, and I want to say he's the second highest draft pick of their rebuild. I want to say
he was.
Him and Asar,
he was 5th. Ron Holland is 5.
So
yeah.
So they got a lot.
They got 5. Like
they ended up at after Cade, they just ended up at
terrible
pick 5.
draft luck.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But like he was the first 5th overall.
He was the first.
And he's either been hurt or disappointing, or hurt or disappointing. And you kind of don't know what he is.
He fits next to Kate Cunningham.
I've always maintained that point. I don't think he fits next to Cade Cunningham whatsoever. I think the issue with rehabilitating his value is if it doesn't work again.
It didn't work last year.
I might say it didn't work last year because he got hurt. If it doesn't work again, man, like
They haven't paid him yet, right?
No,
they have not, and that's the problem. If it doesn't work again, rehabilitating him, you now have to convince yourself. One, he's still a trade asset, and convince another team he's not just a trade asset. He's worth giving a 4 to 5 year long-term contract to, because I want your good player. You got to give up some. You got to give up something in return. So I think he's what's holding them back. And I know that sounds nasty to say it's on one player, but I think when you look at the context of that team, they've got great wings. Who I really believe in Ron Holland and Asar. I think the pick and roll partnership that Cade Cunningham has with Duren is great. I think the vets they brought in, Tim Hardaway Jr., we'll see what they do with Malik Beasley. Duncan Robinson, I think, will fit really well in there. Tobias Harris, obviously. Man. I don't love Duncan, but he's an NBA player.
Y'all sleep.
It does feel like in a lot of ways they're basically running back the roster.
Yeah, they're banking on internal development,
which I cannot make too much fun of or clown, because
we kind of did that
strategy this season, and it was pretty effective. So maybe Asar breaks out, Cade breaks out, and we look like
that. I mean, but one we had I don't want to spend too much time on the Pistons, so we can move on.
I think we all got them in the playoff team, top 6.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
top 6.
Do y'all think? Because I don't know if they're record-wise can be that much better. I think they'll be better maybe because the East is a bit weaker. But
I think they'll be top 6.
I mean, it depends on how
good
the
I think they win about 44 to 46.
Yeah,
I think we're game. Yeah,
barring a Jaden Ivey leak, which is kind of
or Ron Holland or an
kind of
Asar
what they're
leak.
banking on.
Yeah.
So.
Something like that.
I mean, but even then, I think lose a little bit in Malik Beasley.
They're one of those teams that'll have like a better net rating
than record,
but their record might not reflect it because they might drop a couple like clutch games here and there, or it might be a stretch where they're not as good, and then the net rating goes up because when they finally figured out they're a really good team, so it doesn't match out. But I do think their record probably will be around, the 44 or 47 range.
Yeah. Okay, who's next?
Next team, we kind of talked about a little bit that last 7 with the Magic, 41-41 last season. Notable additions. I think they had one of the biggest offseason acquisitions in Desmond Bane. They brought in Tyus Jones. They drafted Jace Richardson, who I think you were pretty high on him, right?
Yeah.
Big Jace fan.
Daddy won't play this.
Lost KCP, which was a massive W for them in this nasty contract. Lost Cole Anthony, who's kind of mid. And then lost.
I think their departures might be.
I don't think they lost anyone that they should have been playing. I'll be honest with you. I don't think KCP, Gary Harris. Maybe Gary Harris, but
that was such a good signing to me at the time, and it just didn't work out. Yeah, it didn't work out at all. It was interesting.
But yeah, I mean, I think Desmond Bane is, if you want to look at the Orlando Magic over the last few years, their glaring weakness jumps out at you.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like you look at them, bro. They might be one of the worst shooting teams of the modern era.
I mean, statistically speaking, they are. If you look at relative to era, they are amongst the bottom.
I was looking at Franz Wagner stats this morning. I was having an argument with somebody. The last 2 seasons, and this is just a little bit random stat, right? I'm not trying to slander Franz. I think he's really good, right? But the last 2 seasons, for players that took more than 300 threes, where do you think he ranked?
Is it last?
If I had to guess, it's either like bottom 5.
So the season before last year, he was last. And last year, he was second to last.
Who was last ahead of him?
It was Stephon Castle. But
oh man,
he's on my head.
We don't gotta talk about that. Yeah. But the point is
clip it.
Like Paulo and Franz have just not been able to shoot to the level that you would expect them to, and especially when you're asking those guys to be your jumbo playmaker. You're basically asking them to be your guards, right?
Yep.
And because they didn't really have like Jalen Suggs. Respect to him, he's not really playing like guard.
Yeah, he's like the Drew Holiday like
wing.
wing
Yeah.
guard.
Yeah.
During,
And
He's the idealized version of Lonzo Ball.
yeah,
No,
that's
'cause, I mean,
Kind of.
you know, get into
Kind
it.
of,
Lonzo
honestly.
should be a better playmaker.
with less playmaking, but yeah.
Yeah, a
but
little less
I think
on ball.
Desmond Bane. You want to talk about people that have been consistently great at shooting?
Oh man.
Oh, that's
He's
what he
ev-
does.
I ain't gonna lie,
every
statistically
list you
speaking-
filter, catch and shoot, pull up shooting.
Yeah.
Like he's a phenomenal shooter.
I think next to the Rockets adding Kevin Durant, I'm not sure a team addressed their like biggest area of need
Yeah, for
better
sure.
than
Yeah, more.
the Magic did with trading
Sure.
for this. And then like you look at what they gave up.
Really
If
well.
I'm the Magic, I'm kind of not missing what
Yeah.
I gave up to.
I mean, it was a lot of picks, but in terms of like player assets, which we're looking just in terms of next year record.
Wasn't some of
Yeah.
those picks not even theirs? Didn't they give up another team's picks? And,
They
Yeah.
gave up.
They gave up
they
the-
gave up the Suns pick.
Suns
Yeah.
pick, Yep.
yeah,
It
so
was a
like,
Suns pick in
'cause
there.
I don't know. This is me. I value my own picks a bit more because you lose
It
control of
depends.
your destiny. I mean, it depends, but
If you think you're going to be good, you'd value your own.
yes,
picks
I
more.
agree. Yeah, I agree. But for a team like that where you're not the Nuggets just yet,
Mm-hmm.
I value control. In which case,
I feel that.
Let's say if I am bad, I
Yeah.
can pivot. So
But in that particular scenario, I think I'd be very comfortable betting the Magic are better than
yeah, I would
for the
agree.
foreseeable
Yeah.
future. So I do think that is a valuable pick.
I mean, they should think they're gonna be better.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the Magic are going to be right around. Like I think they're going to be a top 5 team.
I think they
Pushing 50 wins.
they should be the team that does take the biggest leap. Like
Yeah,
they
for
they,
sure.
they should be pushing. In my opinion, I'll say it. They should be pushing like 55 wins.
I'll say they should.
I can see it.
They should.
They should be a 51 team. I mean, year 4, Paulo, year 5, Franz.
Yeah, Franz shakes back to his early.
You addressed your biggest
early career
weakness.
shooting.
Knock on wood, Jalen Suggs is healthy this year.
Yeah.
I say they should get Mo Wagner back around midway through next season.
Yeah, they'll get him
I
around
wanna say.
January. They said.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's just a really like
I like their team.
they,
They're gonna be a fun
they
team to
have a
watch.
phenomenal defense, and their biggest hole was shooting, and they added one of the league's best shooters.
Yeah,
I'm
so
saying
on
if
a-
they
Can't say
get-
much more than
if
that,
they get
honestly.
a leap from one of Anthony Black or Jet Howard,
Yeah, it's also
Like they-
I forgot they got Anthony Black.
like they just
Yeah.
need like, and I'm not saying they got to go from like, oh man, this guy looks like he's a future perennial all
Just
star.
contributing
like
rotation.
Yeah.
like if they become a super role player, if one of them do it, I think Anthony Black shown signs of that. It's always been a bit clunky to your point because he's not a shooter. He is more of like a connective on-ball guy that just can't shoot. That's just
Yep.
kind of what he is. He's taking improvements as a shooter. I will give Anthony Black credit for
He
that.
has.
But if he either takes more of a leap as a shooter or if he just becomes a better basketball player, which
Yeah.
I think is something he could do, I'm interested to see how good that Magic team could be next season.
Yeah,
They
so-
should be a lot better.
Real quick on the Desmond Bane stuff. You know, that's one of my favorite players in the league. You know, so quick Desmond Bane prop. So for his career, 5 years, on 6.3 attempts per game, he is shooting 41% from three. And in that same vein, his effective field goal percentage for his career is 56.6.
Damn.
So it's, you want to talk about guys who are like the definition of efficiency.
It's like 50.1.
Yeah, league
Yes.
average is like 50.
So he's blitzing the league average in effective field goal percentage since he's came into the league.
As a guard.
Yeah.
As an undersized guard.
Undersized guard who's shooting a ton of jumpers. He's also a very underrated driver. That is something that's pretty good about his game. I will say, for the Magic, looking at their stats, specifically their net running numbers, they were the team that jumped out to me the most as like a team that should take a massive improvement. Because you look at it, they had the second best defensive rating in the league. They were 27th in offensive rating. And adding a guy like Desmond Bane and with having belief in Franz and Paulo, that should be a number that should at least jump up to average.
Yeah.
And if they're in at least an average offense, and they're still like, there's probably still going to be a top 3, top 4, maybe at the worst they get like some negative variance, like the 5th best defense.
Yeah.
This is a team that, like y'all said, that should be like a 55 win team. And I will say, I also, because we brought up the Jace Richardson pick, I like that they took the shotgun approach with addressing the shooting because that wasn't something that was going to get done with one player. And I feel like from adding Tyus Jones, who is low volume, but he's a 40% shooter. Desmond Bane, obviously, that's the biggest acquisition. He's a 40% shooter. And then Jace Richardson was one of the better shooters coming out of college. When you have an issue like that, that's how you address it.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Ready to move on to the last team?
I think the most interesting team.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
Last team.
The Miami Heat, because I have a lot to say about this team actually. 37-45 last season. They didn't lose Jimmy Butler this offseason. They lost him at the deadline last year. But they re-signed Davion Mitchell, Simone Fontecchio they got from the Pistons in that Duncan Robinson deal. They traded, I guess a whole lot of nothing, got Norman Powell out of the deal. Drafted Kasparis, 20th overall pick. notably lost Kyle Anderson, Haywood Highsmith, Kevin Love, and then Duncan Robinson. So, anyone want to go first?
I will say, in regards to the Miami Heat, Khalil Ware is going to be very, very important for them next season. I think that they have put a lot of belief into him, and I think rightfully so. I think he'll be an excellent player for that team. But when you look at how their roster is constructed, they don't have any great passers. And I think that's the thing for me that I look at, and I'm like, man,
he might be the best passer on the
He's
team.
not a great passer.
Relative
He's not
to-
a great passer.
relative to position, I think he is. But
Yeah.
I think there's a strong argument. It's Bam. He's their best passer. Tyler
he
Hero
is.
improved as a passer, but he's a limited passer. I'll say so. Norman Powell is a limited self creator. I still like the pickup. You got it for nothing.
He's a James Harden merchant.
But like, I think that there are certain aspects of that team that are just severely lacking offensively, and I think it's something that's really, really going to rear its head when/if they make the playoffs. So I don't know. I
think they're a playing team.
They are.
I mean, they're always a playing.
That's what I'm saying. I
And
think
like-
the Heat
where
are
you
always
start
going to
at.
be what the Heat are, and I think it's you have a certain floor established with Bam and Tyler Hero, and I think your rotation pieces kind of rotate in Eric Spoelstra coaches, and you win around like 80, 40 games. Like,
And that's where I want to say I think that to the Miami Heat's credit, because they're one of the few teams that are just like, no, we don't rebuild. We stay afloat as best we
Yeah,
can.
they're very Mike Tomlin Steelers.
You hope
that's a
LeBron
great
comes and
comp.
saves you. You hope Jimmy Butler comes and saves you. But whatever reason, they don't want to bottom out. And I respect that. But I feel like they have reached a clear ceiling here, right? They lost Jimmy Butler, and to me, he was their best player. Anytime you lose your best player, and then Andrew Wiggins, with his respect, not Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler even then was getting up there in age, and you could argue he wasn't the same player that he was when he was leading to the finals. You lost that guy and replaced him with Andrew Wiggins. To me, that was the open check case. Contention window is done, and I think they are now in that nasty NBA position we talk about where you don't want to be. They are a team that's not bad enough to draft high, but they're not good enough to do anything in the playoffs. And
there's no smoking gun waiting for him. There's
Yeah.
no like,
Yeah.
I have 3 max slots. Let me go sign LeBron and Chris.
They're
Bosh.
kind of
There's-
they have
I mean, they try every single time a
Yeah,
team
they-
is available.
yeah.
They
Try,
try.
quotation
they
marks.
have
Quote unquote try.
I want to say they don't have all their draft picks. They have a couple of draft picks. I know one of them is protected. I think it's their 2028.
I think they pretty
First
much
or
have
second
all of
first.
them.
I mean, they have their first, but the problem is those firsts are always going to be 15.
But my
16.
point is I know Charlotte has their pick this upcoming season, I believe, because of the Terry Rozier trade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
man.
Funny enough, they don't have their pick for the next 2 seasons. They don't have
yeah,
26.
but I'm pretty sure is it
What was
27?
27?
27 is lottery protected, right?
27 is it's a lottery.
Okay, so
Okay.
Yeah.
theoretically speaking, they could get that back.
Yeah.
But basically, what I'm trying to say is, I think that they are at a point where a team that has denied a rebuild for, decade plus now,
Yeah, they
it's
got
time to start considering it, man. Like Bam Adebayo will get you a lot on that open market. I think Tyler Hero may not get you as much, but you can get something for Tyler Hero. Norman Powell, same thing there. Probably won't get you. Will probably get you less than those two guys, but I think he's worth a little something. I think it's time to really start considering blowing it up because this team, like I said, is not good enough to do anything in the East, but it's not bad enough to draft high. So
I agree there because it's the way free agency works now. I don't think you're ever again going to see a LeBron James caliber
No.
player.
Yeah, that's never
guys are
The
signing
way it
for
works, there
extensions
won't
and
be
getting
free
traded.
agents.
Yeah.
I saw the report that came out a couple of days ago about Miami's looking to sign Kevin Durant next year.
Yeah, bro.
If you think Stone and Tillman are going to let Kevin Durant touch free agency, I think
this is going to sound
think it's
stupid.
ludicrous.
Kevin Durant might sign a contract before this episode airs. Honestly.
Yeah.
There's a better. I think
Very
there's a better chance
possible.
of that than him going to Miami next year.
Yep.
I'll bet money on that one. Like I don't think you're going to see. And you look at the guys that are there in free agency, and it's like Paul George. Like it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's
Those are
those
the guys they
guys.
get.
So it is what it is for them. I'm just
Yeah.
intrigued to see like, and they have some interesting. I like Casper's a bit. Khalil,
Yeah, I like Khalil,
obviously.
yeah.
I think
you have some
Davion.
blocks.
We talk about underrated players in basketball.
Yeah,
Davion
Davion
Mitchell's
Mitchell.
one of the
Yo-
most underrated.
Jovic
players.
is one of my draft crushes. I like
Yeah.
Jovic a lot.
Like Jovic, like it's
Yeah, they have good players. Like they have good young players.
Good players. They have the best coach in the league. They're going to win too many games.
Yeah, to touch on a point you were saying, Dre, I think this is a twofold thing, right? Obviously, I think the CBA makes it a lot harder to deal with free agent acquisition, but even circling back farther than that, I think the inception of the Supermax contract has really killed these types of guys going to the free agent. Because at first, you could go to free agency and you can go sign a 4-year deal somewhere.
It was
and
the same thing everywhere.
Yeah, Yeah, and the only thing you would lose is, oh well, I can get an extra year. But with the change in like how the AAV works with the supermax contracts, if I'm walking to free agency, you're asking me, especially now with the way
you're
the
losing
cap
a lot
is
of
done,
money.
you asking me to lose like 80 million.
Which, to be honest, I mean that's the whole point of the supermax contract.
Yeah, it's to keep. It was to keep the guys in the smaller markets there because the incentive was you're giving up. At the time, it was like 50, 60 million
Yeah, so you're
to
not
go
gonna leave.
walk. But now, like it's 80, and by the time you get to like your 2030s, you're gonna be asking guys to give up like 100 million
Yeah.
to walk in free agency.
And they won't do that.
And I mean, from a team's perspective, if I know you're gone, I'm trading you. Like I'm not gonna let you walk for nothing. So the whole like roster building strategy of I'll get a bunch of decent guys. There'll be this really large star-studded free agency
I can still
class.
sign.
I'm a really marquee destination. I'm gonna sign to one of these guys.
Yeah.
You can't really do that anymore. Now it's I'm gonna stock up draft picks. I'm gonna draft guys. Okay, well, there's a disgruntled star. I have the assets between my draft picks and the young players I have to go outbid somebody for them. And if you don't have that, I mean, you can kiss these guys good. Unless they explicitly come out and they say, I want to go to Miami. Unless that is what they say. And most of the time, that's not what happens. You usually get a list of like 2 or 3 teams, and those 2 or 3 teams bid. Unless that's what happens, they can't really get anybody. Because, I mean, you look at the teams that line up bid, they're going to get outbid by everyone.
Their problem is too, even when a guy does come out and say, Damian Lillard's case.
Oh, yeah,
I
they
wanna go to
constantly
Miami,
lowball people, bro.
It's okay, he wants us. I don't want to give you anything.
I'll say that, and then between LeBron and Jimmy Butler's negative endorsement of Pat Riley, I'm not too sure how many guys.
Yeah, especially after this last
want to
debacle.
play. But does anybody want to say anything about that? We can get to the game.
No, I'm.
Okay,
That's
Yeah.
it for Miami.
we're gonna wrap it up
Yeah,
quickly.
wrap it up quick. Yeah.
Today we're drafting players who were drafted from the 2010s to the 2019 season. So any player that was drafted from those seasons, you can draft on your team. This side versus that side. We're once again trying
we
to
cooking
split the
this one.
tie because we got cooked the first game. We cooked y'all second game. So
Who got first pick?
Starting fives.
I'm gonna get us. Y'all got first pick last 2 times. So
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we for
Yeah,
sure
you
got first.
You guys got it.
Oh, you picking Jokic then. Come on now.
okay,
Yeah.
Jokic.
Let's get it.
2020.
Are we snaking or are we?
We just do a 1-1.
Yeah, we'll just go 1-1.
Okay. Dang, that changes things.
Luka is what I would think, or Shea.
We'll go SGA.
Yeah, Shea.
We'll go Luka.
I was going to say Giannis. I ain't going to lie.
Oh,
man.
tripping. Yeah, Giannis.
I
I'm
was thinking
tripping.
Hey, we just loaded the backcourt.
Said a little back or Luka.
Okay.
Shit, did we just load up the front court then? I ain't going to lie.
I'm trying to think what's like the best. Hey, like we can get a guard later. Tatum's there.
I know Troy. I would think about taking Embiid here, bro. I
And
ain't
just
gonna lie.
putting Giannis.
Yeah, I'll just put a stranglehold
You know
on
what?
the.
I'm gonna follow
on
your
this-
lead this episode. We're going Embiid.
You want Embiid?
Yeah, we're gonna put Giannis.
Yeah,
in
Yeah,
the
we'll go AD and throw
Anthony
him.
Davis.
We'll go AD.
All right,
Okay.
we can start thinking about guards now.
We got a demon.
Hey, y'all took SG and Luka, right?
Yep.
We did.
That's probably the best guards of this.
Probably.
I mean, we still got,
Probably.
we got Tatum.
Probably.
I mean, we got Booker.
Let's go big, bro. Put Tatum at the 2.
Fuck, let's
Let's
do
just
it.
go big. We're gonna put Tatum at the 2.
Okay.
We can go.
We said 2010s. I'm trying to think of point guards
2010s.
taking that 2010s.
Yeah.
We got Kyrie. We got Booker.
We need a 1.
We need a wing.
We got
It's a
Dame.
5.
Dame was up to
They already
12.
won.
I'm trying to think. Of
Wait, who did y'all
Took
win?
Embiid.
We took Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic.
Okay.
We took all the Euros.
Yeah, y'all should go the big.
I ain't gonna lie, I cooked at that one.
We'll go.
He got Jaw, Trey.
Did we go?
Who was drafted in 2017? I'm trying to think.
I think Trey.
We
Oh nah.
Nah, you don't want to go Helio.
I don't think he'll be like
Just
the
go
best
Kyrie.
5.
I'm gonna go Dame.
Oh, no. 2019 or 2020?
2019. Stop to 2019.
19. Okay.
Outside. That's it, man.
Oh shit, yeah, we're
Go.
let's get Kyrie first. Then I ain't gonna lie. I think that's the one that's gonna get taken.
I'm trying to think of wings.
I'll say, come on, you
I think of
already
wings.
said-
Yeah, I
Oh, we missed one.
can't think of wings.
I'm trying to think of wings that went.
All right, we gotta take the next pick. We gotta take the next pick, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
We can. He was 11, right? I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. What was else in that draft class?
Kyrie was in that.
Oh, we did. Oh,
Kyrie.
we smooth.
We gotta let him have that one though. I think.
All right.
Take
Call
Dame
it,
off,
man.
take Dame off the bench. We'll go 6-man Damian Lillard.
all right, we're gonna go at 6-man Kawhi Leonard.
He was. I thought he was 9. I messed my.
He was 11. He was 11.
Oh, I messed my years up. He was 11 and not
Who's
9.
our last starter?
Clay.
Um.
I can't think of another wing.
Yeah, we'll go
Luka,
Clay.
Shea, AD.
Clay.
Jalen Brown.
Well, we won on this one on me.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie. We
Clay.
smoked y'all.
We'll go
Clay.
Clay.
We're gonna take Damian Lillard.
We took him as
We took Dame. We took Dame.
Y'all didn't take Kyrie.
Oh, they
did y'all?
take Kyrie then.
Oh, you take
Okay,
Kyrie.
we
We'll
need
take
to.
Kyrie.
Well, we smoked.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
smoked
God, we
this
won
time.
this one.
We
On
smoked
me,
this
we
time.
won this one.
They loaded up on the bigs. They
So,
Yeah, they
hey,
took
bro,
all the
hey,
bigs.
that's on y'all. Have a
man.
better strategy, bro.
trying to think who like.
I don't know.
They trying to take guards and
Blake.
stuff, man. We getting the rebounds.
No, Blake was
No,
09.
Blake was 09.
That's what I meant. I missed those two.
Yeah, he was a
guys.
rookie in 2010, but he was
Hey,
09.
Ben Simmons.
I ain't gonna lie, who
Um,
is the best big available? I can't even like throw y'all a bone, bro.
Aiden.
I mean, y'all got DeMarcus Cousins.
We won. Nah, he was
Was
on.
that-
He,
yeah.
Oh no, he
Nice
he
2010.
10.
He was 10.
We'll
I got
take, we'll
Boogie,
take Boogie.
Capella.
Whatever, we'll take Boogie.
Oh no, we won that on me.
I'm not gonna lie. They
But
I
hey,
like
they
They
snagged all the
snagged-
bigs.
Look, what messed me up when they snagged Tatum, I'm like, what are they doing, bro? Like,
Went super big.
because I was gonna go Tatum, AD. I'm like, oh, we have a nice team. They're like, we'll put Tatum at the 2.
I'm gonna be real. What happened was after we took the second big and y'all took Shea and Luka, it's a huge drop off at
It
guard.
is.
Yeah.
So we was like, all right, bro. I mean, we might as well just take
Put 'em on
BPA.
bigs. Because I
Yeah.
mean, our team's not bad. It's Shea,
we smoking.
Luca,
We
Clay.
I ain't like, y'all ain't getting no
Boogie,
stops on
AD,
us.
and
though,
then
bro.
we got
I
Dame.
ain't
I'm
getting
not gonna lie,
no
y'all
stops,
got
bruh.
Giannis, Embiid, Jokic. Just we can.
Bro, we got Kawhi. I ain't like Kawhi sneaky starting the whole
Nah,
time.
Ka-
We talking
Kawhi's
about
really
Kawhi
good,
messed me
too.
up. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
why. I
smooth
thought,
forgot.
I don't know why I thought he was 09. It totally
Yeah,
messed me up.
Kawhi's a fantastic pick.
Close
But
it out, Jerry.
Close up.
All right, well, that has been the Right Read podcast today, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 1 of a part 4 series where we're reviewing all of the NBA teams going into next season. This has been East Preview Part 1. Make sure to follow all of us. Our links will be down below in the description. Turn on your notifications for YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And this has been the Right Read podcast.